Hey guys, Sunstreaker was here. Welcome back to another Thursday live stream. As always, bring you the hot topics on Transformers, Earth Wars, and today is no different. So apologies for last week. Little bit of RL news. Like I said, I've been suffering with chest infections probably all my life, honestly, for a long time. And as a kid, you sort of think, yeah, I'm just gonna get on with it. I don't really like to take medication. I like to try and fight it, keep your body healthy, keep it strong. But I just found like I've been getting a lot of chest infections. It's affecting my streams. I'm coughing a lot. So yeah, listen, I had to cancel last week. Apologies. Still not 100%. If I'm honest with you, I had this chest infection about 3 weeks now. Maybe even longer. But taking some medication should clear it up. But yeah, I appreciate everyone that sort of messaged me saying, "Hope you're all right." Was I am fine. It's nothing drastic. It's not like I'm seriously ill, but the problem is that I've been ill for a long time. That makes sense. So it's got to a point where I'm like, listen, I need to sort this out. I need to get this sorted now. So yeah, no big issues. But I appreciate all the messages to sort of say I'm okay. But thank you. But yeah, obviously we're back again this week with loads of information. So we've literally got we're talking a bit about some war attacks I've been doing. As I mentioned the other week, I've made the step up to a higher alliance again. Now in third tier of G1, doing okay. I think I've got about 275, 280 average. So first couple of wars was a bit tricky. A couple of things a bit rusty on, bit of placement. Dropped a couple of attacks. It's gonna happen. Bit rusty. So good to dust the cobwebs off and get back into these high wars again. And yeah, doing okay. I'm gonna try and push on as high as we can. So yeah, enjoying that right now. Have had a couple of bugs, a couple of issues. Ranted a bit today, saying this is sort of why I sort of stopped last time. So frustrating, game crashing, things like that. So yeah, still stressful as always. Top wars not as stressful as they used to be. I don't feel. But yeah, I'm enjoying the top wars. So we've got a few war attacks. Just gonna talk you through the attacks and sort of talk about why I've attacked the way I do. The reasons for certain bot selections over others, and hopefully it can help you in your wars as well. Used to do this quite a while ago, but obviously when I dropped down, it wasn't very high level wars, so I feel like I sort of need to do this again. So we're going to do this in some top level bases. Then we're going to be talking a bit about Titans. It's a hot topic. Everyone's talking about Titans. Titans is on everyone's lips. Been fighting 5-star Titans, maxed out level 25 5-star Titans in wars. And I'm going to tell you how I've beaten it, how you can beat it, but also what's going to happen soon, which can affect that, and how you can still beat it even when the fixes come in. So we're talking a bit about that. We're also going to be talking about the buffs and nerfs. So most of those have hit playtest to mixed reviews. We're talking a bit about what's happened behind the scenes, how playtesters feel about it, and you can give me your take as well. And then we're obviously going to be taking a look at Power Ride. He's currently in test. He's not finished yet. And we're going to be taking a look at the new bot as well. So yeah, loads to go through this week. But there's been a few bugs on the test server. I've been literally all day on and off trying to sort it out with Dale, to the point where we were literally saying I might have to get a new account and start a new account, because Dale was logging into my account. It was working for him, but not for me. Other testers were fine, but mine wouldn't work, and I was getting 4 or 5 different error codes each time. Really bizarre, because normally you get these in test, it happens, and I can take a bot out of my attack and go, right, okay, it's that bot, because it's not crashing with that bot. It can be when I use ability. It can be when I use my Titan. It can be different things. You can sort of narrow it down by elimination. But I literally tried everything possible, and it just kept crashing every single time. And then weirdly enough, I thought I'm going to try Zone 14. Started working in Zone 14 and worked my way up to Zone 16 again. Worked. Tried it against my own base, which I normally do to sort of test things, and then worked. I was like, all right, it's fixed. And then tried it again, and it broke. So Really frustrating. So we may have to go into test server on and off when testing some bots and stuff like that. Apologies. But we'll do our best to try and get some information out there about the new bots and the legacy bots, Powerglide as well, hopefully. So yeah, all that and more as always. So let's have a look who we've got in the chat. So I did see that someone said Grind Time was first. So thank you for joining Grind Time. We've got Blade 19. We've got my good buddy Shani. Good to see you as well. We've got Trax, one of my members as well. Trax, Blade 19. Some of my members. Trax been a member for quite a while now. Appreciate the support. We've got Ricky Lau. We've got MD Prime, William Wilkinson. We've got Carnage MacIte. We've got Craig Kendall. Yeah, appreciate it. I think Craig hit me up just saying this says the stream is tomorrow. I don't know what that is. That's weird because I don't even check the date because it always comes up with today. So a bit weird that it says that. I'll have to check that from now on. So apologies. We've got Ironhide number 1. We've got Valhalla streams. Yeah, live in 24 hours. Very strange. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. Supreme Rules. Good day from a sunny day in Arizona. I'm sure it is. Let's talk about that today with my daughter. We're talking about getting a barbecue. And I said, well, you can get a barbecue, but the problem is it just rusts and just ruins over here. Got no real place to put it. And I was just like, yeah, but what about everyone in America? I was like, yeah, everyone in America smokes. Everyone does because it's nice and dry. There's no rain hardly. Not as much as over here anyway. Let's just remember speaking to Grind Time. And I was saying like the average temperature over here is about 10 to 12 degrees. And it was like, yeah, I won't like to live over there. I won't bother. Yeah, MD Brown just put a bet it starts in 5 minutes. Of course it does, guys. Every Thursday. Never going to stream on a Friday. And if it is, I will let you know. Just a bit of a oversight. Apologies. Then we've got Brian Pusher. Talk about the anniversary. No news yet, which is a bit disappointing. You'd think that information would be out. But looking forward to it regardless. Some good, usually good rewards. Then we've got Giga. We've got E-Rods. We've got... Who else have we got? We've got Lumega. Sea Tactics. Go and check his channel out, guys. We've got Dread81. We've got Stephen Gomez, another long-serving member. Good to see you too, buddy. We've got Mazza. We've got Berserk. We've got Candyman, who's run out of 5 stars to level. Even your con ones. Oh, you Autobot ones even? Because you're a con. Sorry. Autobot ones even. Who else have we got? Oh, Dale's checking Powerglide as we speak, it says. But yeah, it was. I don't think you're going to fix it anytime soon. Really bizarre. Oh, Adam Lee as well. Good to see you, buddy. Long term friend, Adam. So good to see you, buddy. We've got Jacado as well. Very good to see you as well, mate. And then Valhalla Streams just put Wazza keeps creating content like counter Beachcomber showing Dale that are making mistakes, nerfing content when it could be combat with other things like more health, etc. Yeah, we'll talk a bit about that when we talk about the nerfs and buffs, things like that. I mean, I will say I do think that Beachcomber needs a nerf. I will say that. I've always said that. But I think the argument is how much. That's the clue. You know, you could literally nail him 90% and make him awful, or you could nerf him 10% and then make no difference. So there's somewhere in the middle where we've got to try and meet it, you know. But again, we'll talk about a bit about it later anyway, like I said. Cool. All right, let's check the news later, and then we can go to into some content. So this weekend's event is called High Stakes. So it's a general easy event, 10k individual, 1 prestige. We got some warrior crystals, War for Cybertron skin core, 4-star shards, 3-star shards, troop XP, and a decent amount of spark, and then some alloy and energon. All I would say is I'm pretty sure this was sold as the same as the Leo Prime event. And my only criticism from the Leo Prime event was that they chose a bot that was on the list for getting a nerf, which I don't agree with. It would have picked anyone else other than literally Beachcomber, Leo Prime, Optimus, and Blue Streak. They're kind of the bots on the list. Anyone other than that, I'd have been happy with. You know, they could have easily done Pipes, could have easily done Slug, Rook. You know, they're all decent war bots. 6 gun, Smoke Screen, Swoop. healers, kind of anyone like that. And I've gone, you know what, that's a good event, good choice. And I wish I would have done the same again, minus those bots. That's my wish. But we've got some warrior crystals. I mean, everyone likes crystals, but you do have some people that will get nothing out of these crystals. And that's always disappointing. I mean, we like guarantees. So at least a 4-star would be guaranteed in that event. So, but it is what it is. Not a bad event by any means, 10k. But yeah, the warrior crystals contain all the warriors. So all the warriors are listed there. Go and check them out in the newsletter if you're not sure who they are. I'm not going to go through them all. Warrior crystals are scattered throughout in the red there, as you can see. So 10 at 100 points, 10 at 3.5k, 10 at 5k, and 10 at 8k. So you actually only got to get to 8k if you want all the crystals. Well, 8,050 points to be exact. So not the end of the world if you don't even reach 10k. So yeah. No battle zones apply. It's not mayhem mode. It's only 10k, so it doesn't matter. We don't need to. Game updates information. Cyber Pass with some new skins. So we've got Monkey Prime new skin. I'm on the fence. I don't know if it's like a gold. I don't mind it. If it's like an orange, I do. I think orange and pink's a bit. Bleh. I don't know who put orange and pink together. It's not the Air Force crew, of course. I'm sure it's a skin core from somewhere. But yeah. And then we've got tarantulas, and that is massively in your face orange. Massively. So I don't mind orange, but I don't know, not on some bots. But yeah, not the best skins I feel. Been to some better ones, I think. Then Saga schedule, as you can see there. So we've gone through week 5 with the anniversary next week, and then we've got class and bot specific shards again. For week 7, I hope for week 7 they actually had a 4-star in there. It says 4-star parts. 4-star parts makes no sense. 4-star crystal. Is that what I mean? I don't know. We'll see. And then we've obviously got the new bots in week 8 for the new endurance bots, which we're showing today as well. Then go and check out your content creators. Obviously, Freezers, Max Soldier, myself, and CF. And then we've got some art from Ultraviolet 86. Picture of Windblade, which is pretty cool. Is it yeah, watercolors. That's pretty good. If that's watercolors as well, it's a lot harder. So that's I don't mind that. It's pretty good. Some skill involved there. Not bad. Especially with the emblem. Try and get the emblem with watercolors. So yeah, pretty good. That is everything. The next team stream on the 12th of June. So go and check that out. They always try and give some sneak peeks into some new content. Obviously, they'll be showing the new bots, but I'm showing the new bots today, so it doesn't really matter about that. But if there's anything else, then hopefully might be able to show some cool stuff there as well. So let's just go to the chat, see what everyone's been saying. So Willow Bucks put upload a 4-star Leo Prime, 4-star Quake. I know about Leo Prime, but who is Quake? Where did he come from? It's quite a new bot. How'd you get Quake? Quake should be in the crystals yet, I don't think. Quake is gears, I think, isn't it? Yeah, I think Quake is gears. So, hey. Yeah, Blade 19's put Quake good for front-loaded bases. I'm not a big fan myself, but yeah, front-loaded bases, he is pretty good. I just think there's other bots that do things just as well that we've already got, so that's my point. Valhalla streams put for me, Dale's ruined the game for me. Still pretty Transformers as a brand, love was as content. I won't worry too much about ruining the game. The playtesters are obviously fighting hard. Either way, buffs and nerfs to get them right. I think we're on the right track. I don't think we're finished yet. I think there's still balancing to be done. But yeah, I think people are jumping the gun too much. I think people are jumping the gun thinking that they're going to ruin content, and that's not how we want it to be. But I think Dale hit the nose on the head with one comment, and he said Beachcomber is probably more stronger than a combiner. And that's true. I worry about Beachcomber more than I do a combiner, and that's not right. It's not. No matter how you try and sort of tidy it up, it's not right. So something needs to be done. Candyman's still waiting for a G2 Megatron skin. Have we not got a G2 Megatron skin in the in the game? Wow, you'd think that'd be like high on the list, wouldn't you? Wow. Dale, no, sort it out. Mazda's but it's a horrible word, nerf. The grind and money spent from consumers to max bots. Yeah, but the idea is not that you nerf something so it's useless. That's not the idea. The idea is trying to. Sometimes I overthink the word nerf. It sounds really bad. It does. You're right. Um, Balancing is a better word, but it is a nerf. Let's not dress it up or anything. It's not. Um, but the idea is not to. For me, anyway. For me, Beachcomber should still be the best outpost pot in the game. For me personally. But you don't want it where it pops out and people sometimes are like, well, that's my attack over. Because one bot's popped out. And I've literally had that myself where I've lost a healer or two and I think, oh my god, I've got to be really careful here. And then Beachcomber pops out. Beachcomber pops out the outpost and you're like, without a healer, I'm dead in the water. You know, it shouldn't be that way. You know, and people will say, well, that's where the skills involve. But you've got to understand that there are mid-tier, mid-high players even that struggle with Beachcomber. You know, so much. And yeah, we are all putting out videos on how to deal with him, and I'm hoping them videos will still be relevant. But rather than taking 70% of his health, it'll take 100% of his health maybe, and you just got to use ability points to take him out in different ways, rather than just pound on him for 20 seconds with DPS. I mean, I remember that we had combiners on a load of HP as part of the unicorn effects, and my feedback was it's not fun just pounding on a combiner for 30-45 seconds. It's not fun at all. It's quite boring. And to be honest with you, that's why I don't like raids. Because your bots just seem to pound on one defense constantly. And you're just slow moving through. And so, yeah, I don't really like raids for that same reason. Never been a fan. So, yeah, although I agree that nerf is not a great word. And you don't want to make people's investments irrelevant, but you also need to balance the game right because you don't want it where there's one or two or three bots supreme and you can never create new content that lives up to that because then you will have them bots for now and forever. Let's be honest. Excuse me. So Gigas just put, just got a 5-star Roadbuster. Is he worth leveling up? Yeah. It's a good solution for the shield generator. If you haven't got other options. But I don't really use my war team anymore, but it's still a good option. Blade 19, but I still think not. It shouldn't be nerfed until HQ 19. Yeah, fair enough. Listen, you're welcome to your opinion, aren't you? Like we all are. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get it. But I've just seen, especially, you know what? It opened my eyes a lot being in the lower alliance. I'm seeing players struggle about it, and it's very easy to sit there and say, and I've done this in the past. Well, spend money on the game, level them bots. You can't be expected to reach top level content. But some of these beachcombers are not even high level not high level reached. It's the reflect. You know, if you've got decent gunners, and they've got a beachcomber, it doesn't matter with a G1. It's still 70% reflect, regardless of the level of him. So, Goody Fox has put, got 4 gunners now. Smoky, Warpath, Blue Streak, and Sea Spray. Decisions. All 4. Just situational. Yeah. Also, Phil's put, sent my 5-star Volcanicus to fight Deluge in a war battle the other day. Concentrated all my attacks at him. Volcanicus died, and Deluge had more health than when I started. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about, yeah. Blade 19, and that's why I think everything should be balanced before it's released and not 2 years down the line. 100% on board with you on that. 100% agree with you. Yeah, it should have been balanced a lot sooner. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. It's been left far too long, but I'm glad it is being done rather than being ignored. I will say that. And I will say, listen, if you're trying to blame Dale, don't. Because it's not Dale's fault. This needed doing, and it should have been a long time ago by the Space 8 team. Remember, Dale is not a developer. He's a community manager that is helping the team out to do this for the good of the game. And Dale has spent so many hours on this. He was literally up till 2 in the morning yesterday with me, going through some things, trying to fix things for the game. If you think he's paid till 2 o'clock in the morning, he definitely isn't. That's hours he's put in. I am willing to bet he's put maybe 100 hours into this in his own time, I reckon. Like, if anyone has done that, if anyone has put 100 hours of their own time into something that benefits me, then I'm not going to hear a bad word. But you know, these things have to be done, and if Dale has to be the person that gets the flack for it because he's the forefront, then I understand that, but I won't hear a bad word about Dale. I really won't. Dale said Beachcomber's doing 50% reflect without Jazzy tacked on. Well, again, still disbalanced. It's not finished, so yeah. But of course it should be, but then it's when it's not, it has to be balanced against the current content. Yeah, true. Dale's just put, people don't understand how Deluge Beach work. He has reflect on his ability, then he has reflect on his G1, they double up. Then he reflects 8%, so he's taking 8% less damage. Yeah, exactly. Dread81, is Dale's fault for the poor job done on Volcanicus Predaking? Yeah, you could probably say that. Yeah, I'm honest, yeah. And no one wants Ruination nerfed. I don't know. I do think it's quite powerful, but I don't know. It'd be interesting. Also, Phil's, but Dale's the only ape I have faith in. Yeah, I'm kind of on that sort of track as well, I'm honest, yeah. Masters put, does Thundercracker Stone work on Beachcomber? I thought I did it in last war. Yeah, it does. It does work. So I think it stops most of his effects. That's the problem though. What does it stop? What doesn't it stop? No, that's the sort of problem. But you can stop. I think you stop his. Do you stop his reflect though? I don't think you stop his reflect. I think you stop everything else though with Thundercracker. Because you stun him, but it still has the shield and the Golden Lagoon. So yeah. Blade 19, just don't understand why you're going to do all this work balancing the game when HQ 19 is going to come out in a few months. Because the idea is that you balance the game and you make it X difficulty. Now at the minute, the game is balanced where, for me it's the shield generator, the MDS, Micronus, Megatronus, Prime Cores. Other than that, anything else in the base is irrelevant. Walls may be important because they path. Anything on the base is irrelevant. And then you've got Leo Prime, Beachcomber, Ultimate Optimus, and obviously Blue Streak. And they're sort of vital to most attacks, along with a few other bots. But it's sort of a case of once you've got them bots maxed, you don't need anything else really. You can beat most bases because once you've got an answer for the shield gen, you don't need an answer for anything else because once that's gone really, and once you've dealt with Beachcomber, everything else is irrelevant. And it shouldn't be that way. Everything in the base should be relevant. Every bot should be relevant in some way. And so when you balance it that way, yes, wars will become easier. They will because defense is easier. Yes, these bots have been nerfed, but other ones have been buffed. Yes, it will be easier, but then you increase the war effects. And I do agree with that. But there's a fine line between ruining the content I've already got and just bringing it down to the right level. That's the key. Is bring it to the right level. That's where balancing comes in. But I kind of get your point about HU19. But like I said, but then we balance around HU19 because they bring war effects. We've always done this. When HU18 was coming out, war effects were through the roof for HU17. There were so many things stacked upon it. Then HU18 come out and the war effects got brought down. It was just that simple effects. And as people get used to those defenses and people level bots and do whatever and get new content, then we sort of start adding the war effects and building up again. We haven't done that for a long time because of that. Because defense has been, it's been stupid that there's like 2 or 3 things you have to have for defense and 2 or 3 things you have to have for offense. And if you don't have either of them, if you are against Beachcomber and you don't have, say, Cosmic Rust Blaster and Nightstick, and it's very well and good saying, oh, you need to get them. But there are some people out there that don't spend the game that are free to play. And we could easily say that if you don't have Nightstick, don't have Cosmic Rust Blaster and Top Shot, say, and you don't have, say, Silver Ball, and you don't have 6-gun, and you don't have anything to hack into or Blades or Cosmos, say, then how do you deal with Beachcomber? You're going to really struggle. And people will say, oh, you just hit him with DPS. I've literally seen gunners just dying, just hitting Beachcomber. So, you know, we can sort of talk about it for the cows come home, but it definitely does need balancing. ROFL Bozos put, why can't they nerf Beachcomber for Cyber and below? Just leave them alone for Prime League Hardball. Yeah, but you understand they can nerf Beachcomber and then increase Outpost health for all of them for Prime League. and then his health goes up again. You're good to do anything like that. Algorithm, but I can't wait for Omega's rework. Just got a rocket ship. Yeah, good. And he's yeah, should be pretty good hopefully. Just catch a few up here, but Traxxas put that I think Ruination should be the standard for most, if not all combiners. I kind of agree. I don't think that Ruination should be nerfed into the ground, but I do think it's a bit too powerful, slightly. But I also think that the problem is that combiners are kind of underwhelming in the game generally, so I'm kind of on the fence about that. I kind of understand that they're reducing Ruination, because we're looking at bots now and they've got so many things. They've got this and that and this and that and that and that. And then you don't even know if it's working. All you know is, oh yeah, I do all that and it causes a lot of damage and it sort of does everything. But when you actually look into, is it doing it? It's so difficult. If I asked you sort of to look at Beachcomber and when he does all these cheers and when they work, you wouldn't be able to tell me. You know it works, maybe because you can see, oh, it's done more damage now, but you can't look and go, right, I can use that ability now because that chair is kicked in and things like that, and it's just really confusing. So I kind of get that Ruination needs bringing back in line a bit, but you know, yeah. And Shani just put HU19 is still far away. Yeah, you're looking next year, I think. Can't have people wait 6 to 8 months for something to come and expect them to be content with the game. Well, yeah, this is where we have war effects on it. Let's be honest. But let's not get into a conversation back and forth because I'll be here forever sort of going through all this. But yeah. Traxxas, but the problem also with Beachcomber is I have hit him with the blaster, nice thing, and top shot. Beachcomber just laughs, so it's not a thing. Yeah, literally, I've had that myself. Berserk, Beachcomber mainly needs his reflect to be timed. Well, probably, yeah. That's not a bad shout. That's a good shout, actually, yeah. Could he fuck with the nerfs? Wait for HQ19. Yeah, but would it be fair to nerf for HQ19 and bring up HQ19? It'd be double as hard. We need to balance the bots around now and then increase or decrease war effects. We're not balancing HQ19 around Prime League hard mode. We're balancing HQ19 around Cyber. And HQ18 around Cyber as well. Blade 19, but we lost a lot of players when HQ18 came out, and that is going to happen when a game when 19 comes out. If not balanced right, I agree. 18 was a bit too difficult when it came out, but I think that's because they made some poor choices, I think. Tracks Beachcomber lives up to the law of Golden Lagoon. It does, but I think that was a good point that Berserk made, that it shouldn't last as long as it does. Volcanic 69 Prime is hard enough. It becomes even harder with nerfs. No. But then it comes easier when you've not got Beachcomber doing what it does. So, yeah. Cool. Right. Let's go into the content. Let's have a look at some war attacks that I've done. Cool. Let me just drag them over a minute. Let's have a look. Okay, let's pause it a minute. So, see this base quite often. Yes, it is against GC1, but this is not a slight on them by any means. These bases are really, really difficult, and the reason I've recorded these attacks is because they're really, really good bases. Good designs. I'll explain why they're good designs. I'll explain what makes them difficult, and you can sort of judge on that how you would attack it and how to get around it. So, how this base sort of works is that the idea is that if you start at one end and work your way around and try and take out the top section, generally you will time out. That's the idea behind it. Because you've got Beachcomber, and we just talked about Beachcomber being so OP. Because it's so much health, it just makes you time out. That's the problem. We haven't got any armor cores, anything, any extra health or anything like that. So it gets quite difficult. So the idea is that you want to speed the attack up. Now the best way to speed the attack up is to get rid of half of the bottom section. Now if you don't want to do that, like I said, you've got to get through quickly, whether it's through speed ups or however you want to do it. But what happens is, once you've took out this bottom section, these two beam lasers here, either side, what they do is, because your warriors will walk up to either side there, your gunners will sit a bit further back. You'll find that your gunners walk up here to hit the beam lasers. Your warriors walk around here to either get the beam lasers or to get the launcher. So the idea with all these sort of bases is to split your bots up. Now you've got one of two options. You can either drop your gunners really, really in the corners towards the end of clearing the bottom section to try and path them upwards, because you want them to walk around this wall to the beam laser. You can take the beam laser out and hopefully path them up to the top, or you can account for your bots splitting and try and pop these with another bot. So, what I decided to do is, I always try and drop pipes and beachcomber first, and usually I'll rush pipes in if your attack starts taking damage. Now, you don't have to do that. Again, depends if you want to save some points or not. So you can see there, you can't see the health, but pipes taking a bit of damage there. We've got the healers down. So you can see there, we took all this section out here with Optimus. I'm still worried a bit about these here. We want to make sure that all our bots go left and don't go right. If you get a split on this base, you'll probably lose. Your healers are going to start running off, going to get killed. That's the main thing. If you've got to use extra ability points to take these out, do so. Now, I'll probably drop these a bit too far to the left. I could probably drop them a bit more central and get rid of this section. But we've done all right. We've hit it again with Optimus. And we've made sure that the bots path to the left. Now you'll see here that the bots walk around. And some bots will walk up towards the beam laser. Now I took the beam laser out to try and path them round. But 6 gun still walks up that way. I can probably take the launcher out as well to stop this. But so we're going to use 6 gun there just to take some of them defenses out. Most of the bots are walking around. He's popped the outpost there. Cosmos pops out. Combiners come out. And what you kind of sort of miss, just rewind a minute. So, because we're watching the bottom section. If you watch this top section here, if you watch a blue streak. So using blue streak here to take out the anti-fire build bots. So he's hit the shield gen there. Took the build bot out. And then we drop our combiner. So there's still one fire build bot at the top here. So we're going to do some damage here. Rush up there. I think I may have actual fire build bots out there now. So now we're just sort of battling the outpost bots. But again, 6 gun walking round might actually change 6 guns combat to make him a bit closer maybe, but then we lose the sort of range, but it's causing a few issues on this attack. Beachcomber pops out. I didn't want to avoid that, but it pops out. So now we're going to try and get rid of Beach. So we're just going to pound a bit on the rest of the bots, and then when it gets a bit low, 6 guns targeted now. We've got that acid, we've got that fire hitting on him. Optimus has gone down. Now we're using 6 gun like I showed in that video posted the other day, just to get Beachcomber's health down. You can see there now Beachcomber is down. It speeds that attack up. That's the important thing. We distracted him enough and we've taken the HQ down. That's the same replay. So like I said, a very good base, very good design. An effective way to sort of take this base down, and like I said, take half of this section out and force your bots to walk around. That's generally the idea. Give that a go, guys, on these sort of front loaded bases, and let me know how it goes. Let's go on to attack 2. So for this base, we've got a front-loaded base. As you can see, it's generally the same team again. But I've actually taken out Optimal Optimus for this attack. I don't need 2 fire bots, but I have put blades in because it's so compact. We've got 2 beam lasers here. We've got loads of spider mines, cannons. We've got Megatronus on a cannon. Never do that, guys. We've got no anti-hack build bots or anti-fire. So it's a prime base for hitting this with blades, and then sort of taking these build bots out. So again, we've started with pipes and beachcomber, but this time we've took blades and we've took blue streak. So blue streak's going to hit this build bot here. Blades are going to hit this section here. And you can see the blades there doing loads of damage because of that hack. And we've got blue streak hitting these fire build bots. They've still got one over there. It's doing loads of damage. Blue streak takes the rest out. And you can see there really quickly there, as we pop our combiner, most of the base is down. And this is literally just using blades to hack, using blue streak to take out the build bots, and using Leo Prime in an area. There's not much left. So now it's going to do some damage to this section here. Try to take out this shield gen. It's also a good tactic that if you've only got the HQ left and you've got your combiner here, try and get Beach near the HQ, because at least while you're hitting Beach at the HQ, it just means that your bots will do AoE damage to the HQ while hitting Beachcomber. So that time where you're pounding on Beachcomber, you'll actually do damage to the HQ as well. So just speed that attack up. We did pop a red alert here, or run amok even, but it didn't ruin the attack. Again, just pounding that HQ now. And base down. So again, another good design. We see these a lot, these front-loaded bases. So we struggle getting front-loaded bases. Like I said, blue streak, smoke screen, really good option. You can start them from the back if you don't want to start as quick as I did and take them out. But I just like to sort of get blades in there very quickly, hacking that area and taking those build bots out. Do as much damage as you can. Then with Leo Prime, and then it's just a simple walk from there, and usually should keep most of your bots intact. And you can, the good thing about these front-loaded bases is you haven't got to worry too much about pounding on Beachcomber, because you don't really run out of time, because most of the other resource buildings are at the back of the base, and so you generally don't run out of time. So time is generally not a worry. So as long as you can destroy a huge area, if you are just powering on Beach for a while, it's not the end of the world. So give us attack a go, guys. Even with 3 anti-fire build bots, Leo Prime's still viable. Give it a go, guys, and let me know how you feel it works. And have you got any different strategies for this base as well? Then we've got attack number 3. Oh, 1 minute. I'll stop naming it. That's weird. Yeah, I've just copied it over, but that's weird. Let me just get it, guys. I've got another folder here in a minute, so let me just find it a minute. GIF, why is that a GIF? Why was that a GIF? Don't think we can pause it. Oh. Just gonna go anyway. Can we pause it? No. So I've used Warpath here to sort of take out these build bots here. As you can see, different options for different attacks. But I've decided to use Warpath here. As you can see, pretty much the same, but Optimus swapped out for Warpath. So we took out these anti-fire build bots here from the launch pad. And now, same again, we don't want the bots to split, so we've got to take out one side. So I've done this because the build bots line up well. We've taken some key defenses out, so you're getting some good value for those Warpath hits. So what we've done, we put pipes on this right-hand side here, because what you can do is, you can use pipes to sort of clear this area as well. And what you can do is you can rush pipes over, but the sharks will still remain on that side. And so there you go, you've all walked this way anyway. But it's just good that if pipes start to walk off, you can rush them across, but just make sure you do and keep that in mind. So he's walked around here. We've got to be cautious about popping his outposts. They're going to pop anyway because there's a split between the gunners. But we're going to try and keep them all together. But the idea is that as we pop these, we're going to pop the combiner as well. That's why we've gone from right to left and not left to right. So when we do pop these, because we can't stop the split, we can actually pop the combiner on this side as well. So as you can see, Warpath has split. I think that's because of his combat, but also SP Optimus as well. So even if we change his combat, that wouldn't change. So we popped Beach. We've popped Optimal Optimus there, or T2 Megs, and Deluge, and Scourge. We're probably going to lose Warpath, but we don't need it at this stage. We've used him already. But it is dragging the healers away. Oh, and there's the GIF. Oh, great. But yeah, at that point there, guys, it's literally just destroying Deluge, again, destroying that sort of all them combiners, bots, and then just literally just going and killing the HQ. Sorry for that cut off. I don't know what's happened there actually. Really weird. I'm baffled why it's saved as a GIF and not saved as an MP4. But hey. Crap happens on it. But you can see that really important is pathing. It's really, really important in these attacks. Really, really important. See what everyone's put. Let's have a look. So yes, have you noticed any zone irregularities between 16 and 7? It seems trying to work on balancing them. I don't think they are, because they've not mentioned anything at all, so I don't think so. So grind times pop. I've seen this attack quite often as well. Just use blades with sidetrack to pop the outpost and combiner after the combiner ability is used. Drop team and use Leo or Air Raid and Blue Street to clear the bottom while everyone else fights the outpost bots. Then with the bottom basically cleared, your bots will path up together. That's a good shout as well. I don't like using the blade sidetrack pop. I'm not a fan of sack in general. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I just think if you get the timing wrong, I've seen some attacks where the timing's gone wrong. They've not popped the outposts as they should. And I don't know. I'm just not a big fan, to be honest with you. Candyman, can we get a buff for Starscream? That was discussed. I think the only problem with buffing Starscream is, forget lore for a minute, because if we go off lore, Optimus Prime will be the best bot in the game. So would Megatron and Soundwave and Shockwave and so on and so on. But that's never going to be the case, really, I'm honest with you. But the problem with buffing Starscream is that he actually does normal damage, and there's no counter for it. So that's why that's my counter argument for buffing Jetfire and Starscream. But I get your point that they kind of lost bots in a way, but maybe not. Who knows? Volcanica 69 has 5-star blue streak upgrading. It's a very good bot, but don't forget he's on the nerf list. So I won't put too much into him yet until you see what's coming. Goody Fox has put, I don't have to worry about which side. I just use Leo's attack 3 times. All the building in front is gone. Yeah, I kind of get you can do that, but for me, I like to use Leo Prime on the top section. And so if you use the ability on the lower section, it costs you more ability points on the top section. And so it's just something to consider. But if it works for you, then fair enough. Grind times put after break on second base. The rest of the method is the same. Yeah, same again though. I don't really like sack. I do like just pathing my bots. No gibberish, please. Oh, grind time muted him. Thank you. Thanks, grind time. I have no idea the translation's accurate, but it's what Google gave me. Fine. Sound. And he's used Higaldo. I think that's the same guy as last week. If it is the same guy next week, then we'll have to just ban him from the stream, sadly. Volcanic 69 would be 5-star bot or combat bot for the anniversary event. Don't know. If it was my choice, it would be 7,500 5-star shards because combat shards, because that gets you a weapon. 5k shards doesn't. So I mean, you could say a combat, it could be a combat or weapon. Maybe that'd be pretty good. But I think it is combat this time around. Sadly, I'd rather have a bot personally. But they did say for 10 years it will be both maybe. So that'd be good, a bot and a combat. But I'm pretty sure it's combat this time around. But Candyman's bot amusing to me that Beachcomber is the most dangerous bot at the minute, yet he's a pacifist in the law. Yeah, I think they're talking about it is that he shouldn't be good on attack because of the Golden Lagoon, and he should be hard to kill because of the episode. So I kind of get that law. Makes sense. Kelvin Hualazo, hope I got that right. Sorry, I don't think you have, but sorry. The problem is like a war, silent, flaming out, silent nerf. Yeah, I would say that most nerfs are not silent apart from the Titan nerf, which was disappointing. I've already voiced my opinion on that a few times. But you know, they don't do silent nerfs really apart from the Titan, which wasn't a silent nerf really. They just forgot to announce it, but it wasn't really covered in playtest that much either, so I'm sort of on the fence a bit with that. It was poor. Kelvin's put Beachcomber's not the problem, Ruination not OP, we need more combination bots. You delay Beach lost. I disagree personally, like I said, because the problem is that it's how many points you're going to use. I do agree with more combination bots. Do agree with that 100%. But I will put this to anyone. If you take Beach out of defense and you take the shield gen out, how easy would it be, the base? Very, very, very easy. Very easy. And so that for me says that those two are quite OP. But it's not just the shield gen. You could take my Cronus out of there and it would be very, very easy. It's the mixture of my Cronus with the shield gen that's the problem. It is OP. And Beachcomber obviously is OP. I think I could beat any base in the game without healers and without a combiner if there was no Beachcomber and with no shield gen. I really do at the minute. And yeah. And if every single person's using Ruination, then yeah, it kind of is a point that is too OP. People should be able to use other combiners. And yes, I do agree. The counter argument for that is other combiners should be buffed as well. Now, I'm not saying Ruination should be smashed into the ground and made useless. I'm not saying that for 1 minute. Don't get me wrong. Don't mince my words. Don't. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's slightly too powerful. And yes, Volcanicus does need a buff. Yes, all of the combiners need a buff, including Omega Supreme. They all need a buff. And I'm hoping that the Omega Supreme buff brings him in line with Ruination. So you got to think, like, I don't want Ruination to be where Omega Supreme is now. Let's say Ruination's up there. Let's say Omega Supreme is down here. I want them both there. So not there. There. So Ruination bring it down a bit. Omega Supreme quite a bit. And then every other combiner sort of reaching that level. Now, it's unrealistic because there are going to be some combiners that are better than others because it's impossible to balance them all exactly. But they all should be usable. All. Optimus Prime fan has asked, can he see Soundwave please? If you stop asking over and over again, then yes, I will come to the comments. You don't have to keep spamming, but I will. Volcanic 69 has put next anniversary event is supposed to be both. You mean next in 10 years or 9 years? I think 10 years. Dread 81's put should be a 5-star bot and Dino Gate. I think it will be. Yeah. Volcanic 69's put why is it buffering? I had that last week as well, weirdly enough. Is it buffering for anyone else? Let me know. And obviously thank you, Calvin, for being a member as well. Much appreciated. Kelvin's put Leo Prime is OP, but he don't need a nerf. He does. Because he's doing about 20k damage. And the highest defense in the game is 16k. And so he can take out 12 defenses for like 5 ability points. That is ridiculously OP. It is, sadly. John Downey's put, instead of nerfing ruination, why don't they strengthen all combiners, make them want to use other combiners? Yeah, I agree with that. But what I'm sort of insinuating is, if ruination's at 100% right now, he should be at like 80%, 85% what he does right now. That's what I'm sort of saying. And then if Omega Supreme's doing half of what Ruination does, then Omega Supreme should be 85% of what Ruination does, in my view. Scorpio no Cardias, but Menasor needs a big one big. I think he means a big improvement. His level is an insult to him. Yeah, I agree with some of the law combiners as well, but like we just said earlier, sadly, law doesn't really matter too much in the game. Not really. It matters. It does. That's wrong because they got blue. Obviously, they got the Golden Lagoon on Beachcomber, so law does matter. But what I'm saying is the most powerful bots in law are not generally the most powerful bots in the game. Should they be? Up for debate. Kelvin's put, yes, rebalancing bots, Victorians use Optimus Maximus Superior, and they don't one-shot the shield gen. Well, they shouldn't one-shot the shield gen. I don't think they should. I think that's a bit OP. But yeah, definitely should be viable in some way. Drax has put, they should make OS where you want to get his 5-star rights. Now I see no reason to use 15k shards for him. Yeah, but that's a double-edged sword. The reason people don't want to make Supreme is because Ruination is God. And you will never need another combiner other than Ruination. So it's a double-edged sword that yes, Ruination's too good and needs bringing back in line, but then a main Supreme does need making better as well. Yeah, Grindtime said the same thing about waiting until after HQ19. I know, but they can't sadly because then they're balancing around HQ19 and we've got another 8 months of things being a bit too easy and things being a bit too hard, people getting frustrated. So Cicadas put, the problem with combination bots is you have to have the combination to make them effective, or you have two inefficient bots. I don't know about that. I think Skids is still efficient, and I don't think that Rust Dust is, but you should be able to pair the two. I think Rust Dust range should be increased to match Skids. I think we should have bots like that that sort of just fit together. You know, you don't have to. You can use Skids on its own, but I think if you put Rust Dust with that, it should be a match made in heaven. But I feel like Rust Dust survivability puts her at a disadvantage, and that's the case for a lot of scouts. And I did say that to Dale. I was like, we do need something for scouts in terms of survivability. Even just slowing them down or something, because they do get ahead and die too quickly. And that's the reason I don't really like B, and why I always rate him a bit lower on my ratings videos. I love his ability. It's amazing. One of the best abilities in the game. You can spam it. It's cheap. But survivability wise, it's awful. And I mean, dreadful. That's a problem. Drax, don't forget Kelvin is Ollie Jaffet with G1. What? Oh, right. Okay, I play with G. Okay. I didn't know. I can't forget if I didn't know. Good to know now. Girls put possible we need more 5-star shards and lower 2-star and 3-star shards to ranks. Or we need 5-star shards. Yeah, I think there's enough 5-star shards in the game. I think there's quite a few really. I think compared to what we used to it. Don't forget we're getting more bots with HQ18. You mean 19? More bot levels? Are we? Are we sure about that? Track support. Yes, I agree that Ruination is better than OS. But at the same time, I would gladly pull 5-star OS if he was on the lower Ruination. Well, that's the idea. I hope. I do hope. Kelvin's put in PLFX OS delivers more electric damage. Yeah, true. But still not making him relevant though, even with that. So yeah. Could he Fox if Big Convoy entered the game? What would he be? Who knows? Could be a scout. And Mazza's put, wouldn't it be good if we could counter any base with different bots, buying tactics that are using the same team and same buying against every base? Yes, I have said this for a long time, and I kind of give up on it really because I don't think the apes have the same vision. Maybe they do with the Titans, maybe, but I think that Dale sort of hit upon that about them all having some sort of niche. Like Comptron's all about hack, Volcanicus is all about fire. He said sort of Ruination's always going to be the sort of spam combine them in a way, spamming abilities, but you can't have it spamming and being so powerful as well. But that's the way he sort of sees it. But having sort of, I do like that idea though of being able to protect your base against certain things. And I did say this is for me in Prime League. I would have. This is gonna really trigger some people. I would have build bots immune to anything, just there for the time battle. I really would. But the problem is though, is that you could just put one fire build bot, one electric build bot, one healing build bot, and just heal the HQ constantly. That's the problem. It's a good idea in essence, but it will be used in ways that you wouldn't be able to even kill things, and it'd be sort of impossible. But maybe increases the health of build bots, make them harder to kill. I don't know. But I would really love, me personally, to be able to go to a base and go, right, I need an electric team for this base. Electric will do great against this base. A fire team would be useless. And I drop Leo Prime and I drop Ultimate Optimus. And you know what? People will go, yeah, but I don't have the bots to be able to do that. Well, my counter argument would be, and this is where I do a bit elitist. If you want to play at the highest level of the game, then you need the highest amount of content and the most content available. Now, maybe that's in Prime, maybe that's in Unicron League rather than Prime League. I'm not a fan of making new leagues, but when the tournament does come round, maybe we add things like that. Make fire on some bases useless, and make electric on another base useless, and do things like that to make it harder for the very, very top levels. I'm all for that in the Unicron League and things like that. But we have to be careful of bringing new players up, because if you put that into Prime League, and you've got some players that are just edging into Prime League now. We saw a team the other day, and they were like, "Oh, it's our first time in Prime League. We're on." You know, well done, guys. Keep going. It was really good to see. You don't want to discourage that. You know, you want players pushing into that Prime League and trying to get in there and trying to compete. So it's a hard balancing act. Candyman's put Acid Storm built 11. When? How long's piece of string? Don't know. Some news for who or when the new Titan arrives in the game. It's usually around September time when we sort of see these sort of new Titans. Just before Christmas, sort of around then, September, October, November. I'd imagine around then, I think. Track's interesting idea. I don't think it's possible. I wanted 2 cores on defenses to make them impervious to something. I thought it'd be good for opening crystals to get these cores where you can make certain defenses impervious to certain elements. I think it'd be pretty cool, but they said that they can't have the tech to put 2 cores on 1 defense. But it'd be good though. But Trax has put that you should be able to put 2 cores on 1 build bot, but you'd lose half of each cores. Well, maybe half the range, maybe something like that. That'd be pretty good, but yeah. Kelly's put we need for some variety for kind of attacks, ability 11 or G1 metal bots, some bots. Yeah, well there is some that needs to come out in there. They've got a bit behind. They kind of brought out all the G1 cores for the new bots and forgot about the old ones, so it is something. But while they're doing this move over, this took a lot longer than I thought, I'm honest with you, to the new studio. And while Dale's working on this rebalancing, nothing really got done behind the scenes. Very little anyway, but this is a really important bit, is balancing the game. And once this is done, then we can look at newer content and things like that. Okay, we're going to be talking a bit about beating Titans. So, I know other content creators have covered this, but I think there's something that they may have missed and something they forgot to mention. So, when battling against Titan, there's a few things that you can do. Let's hope it doesn't crash. So let's go with a general team. We're going to take Ruination with us. I do need I need Optimus in there. There we go. Just going to do normal mode actually, just to show you. So, Titan on Titan as normal. So, something that people are generally doing is you can use Warpath from the start. So, we can drop Warpath quite high. And then we can take out some key defenses, some build bots, while hitting the Titan. You see there, we're doing damage to the Titan there. See there, big chunk of damage to the Titan again. So you can generally just keep hitting the Titan like this, taking out sections, taking out build bots. But it's trying to get value. It's not just hitting the Titan. It's also getting value for your points as well. And taking out some build bots, taking out some key defenses. But sadly, this is going to get fixed at some point, and so it won't be viable anymore. But for the time being, hit away. Why is he walking down? Why is it weird? Optimus's pattern is weird. So another option what we've got is that we can use Optimus on defenses on the right hand side. And that will also hit the Titan as well, as you can see there. So it's using my damage to the Titan, and you can see that because of that, our Titan is easily winning the other Titan. Let's look at something else another way. Then we're going to do similar. We're going to drop pipes here. We're going to drop all the bots here and just clear this section here. Just clear a section. And what else we can do is we can use Ruination and make him walk up this side. Now, this is generally why I will walk from right to left as well. Then take out the left section and use Ruination for the right hand side. But what I'm also doing is I'm not just taking out the right hand side. I'm also using Ruination's ability to hit the Titan as well. So I'm going to take this side out there. You can see, look, I'm going to hit the Titan as well. You can see massive chunk of damage there. And what I try and do, I try and leave some defenses round here if I can. Gonna do it. I was gonna take it out. No, it's all right. Oh, got HQ. You see there, hit the arc again. And as you can see, our arc is winning quite comfortably. So when you have these 5-star Titans, some great ways to battle them is using Ultimate Optimus or some kind of big AoE, do damage against them, using Warpath, beginning the battle, or using Ruination. But all these methods are going to be fixed. These are kind of bugs in the game because the Titans shouldn't be targetable or shouldn't be hit by anything other than the other Titan. But there is something that you can do. Now, I'm trying to make it so my arc actually loses, if I can. If I can't, I'll have to do it without visual aid. Have a go. I'm going to win out. Titan's going to win. So, an easy way to try and kill the opposite Titan is literally using Beachcomber. Because we talk about Beachcomber having this great reflect that kills all our bots. But as you can see there, as a Titan hitting Beachcomber, I'm not using any abilities or anything. I'm not using extra points. I'm actually killing the arc. Because it reflects all that damage back. Try and keep him alive just to kill the arc. Let's have a look. And you see there, arc down. So I've actually been using Beachcomber more on offense for this reason. And once that 5-star Titan has that bit of health left, I've actually just used Beachcomber's Reflect, use ability or don't to sort of kill the Titan off, and it helps a lot against those 5-star Titans. Now, the difference with this is it's working as it should. It's reflecting damage back to the Titan and killing the 5-star Titan. It's designed that way to reflect damages. So yes, other bots like Hotspot you may be able to use as well. You can maybe rush Hotspot into position as well. We're hoping this reflect all gets better. You've got Nose Cone 2. There's plenty of bots that sort of reflect damage. So will we see a reflect meta coming in while everyone catches up with these 5-star Titans? But like I said, these are not bugs. These are not things that are going to get fixed like Warpath, like Optimus, like Ruination. This is how it is intended. So it's a really good tactic for killing the 5-star Titans. So consider putting a light or Beachcomber. You can put Nose Cone in, but don't forget the Reflect costs you ability points, whereas Beachcomber not as much. So give it a go, guys. Try and put Beachcomber in your team and reflect that damage back and let me know how it goes. Poseidon, you haven't missed a stream, about halfway through. It's fine, but you can always start again and watch it back towards the end of it. Don't worry about it. So Bladen's 19's put an idea for HQ19 about power core. Be a base power core, could put one that cover a whole base, whether it be fire, electric. I know, but then you're making build bots kind of irrelevant, so I don't like the idea of that. Personally, yeah, Kelvin's put triple change have 2 cores. I know, but apparently it's hard on defense. Don't know why, but yeah. Candyman's about putting cores on resource buildings. Yeah, but would it be a bit too much? Think about that's a huge increase in it with the amount of resource buildings in the game. But I do think that resource buildings are underutilized and should be utilized as part of Prime League or Unicron League as part of the war effects. So yeah, I do agree something needs to be done with resource buildings, but I don't think cores like that are the answer. I'd like cores for them, but it's more like anti-fire cores for the resource buildings, maybe slow people down or something like that. But yeah. Kelvin, does Reflex some Beach stack with CL? Yeah, I presume it should do. There's no reason why it shouldn't. So yeah, it's a good option as well. Honestly, on my war attacks, the 5-star Titan goes down a lot quicker than that does. So I think actually the Reflect from CL and Beach was probably stacking, and that's why it kills the Titan a lot quicker than what you saw in my replay there. I'll try and get some videos for that for next week. Poseidon's put any leaks at HQ19? No, nothing yet. It's still early days. All we know is it's coming, and I think there'll be an MDS attachment, and there'll be a new defense. That's all I know. Yeah, Blade Knight. Listen. If we didn't have anti-fire bill bots, I would agree with you. I know Jacada mentioned Titan Core. That's a really good idea. But I just don't like the fact of making a base anti-fire when we've got anti-fire billbots. Because then all of a sudden then you could make a whole base anti-fire and then use anti-stun billbots and you've got both effects really. So it wouldn't work in that sense. I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think this is viable, possible even. But if you could have one billboard that has triple range or something and protects most of the base, maybe. But even then, that's only 50% in it. I don't know. Listen, I'm just sort of spitballing. But in an ideal world for me, I would have a war team of like 30 bots I can interchange. And that's why I sort of like this balancing thing. Is that when we're balancing bots like this, I want to bring other bots in. I just want to nerf Leo Prime. I want Leo Prime still to be useful. I want Optimus to be useful. I want Blue Street to be useful. But what I don't want is to have, because SG Jetfire is on the screen, to have SG Jetfire and go, oh, he can't make my team. What I would like is, in certain designs, go, oh, he's a good bot to have. Now, in mine, I generally have a set 7 bots, and then substitute one bot out between like Optimus, Smoke Screen, Warpath, Sea Spray. I wouldn't want them 7 bots on subbing 1 in. I would like to sub like 4 or 5 in. But it means that more bots have to be relevant. Now that's a double-edged sword again. More bots can only be relevant if more bots are made better, hence the buffs. But they can only become relevant when they can match up to what the current meta bots are, which are far surpassed any other bot and too far good to be able to get any other bot even close to the damage they do and what they do. And so that's why we need to bring these bots down, like meta bots, down a level. So for me, I know I do these ratings videos, but for me, no bot should be S tier. Every bot should be A tier. So imagine the ones that are in S tier, bring them down to A, and everyone else is in B, C, and D, bring them up to A. That's sort of the dream. Again, it's impossible because there's so many bots, but I'm sure we can make it more than what we have. So at the minute, I would say we have a small selection of S tier bots that are unbelievable. We have quite a few A tier bots, quite a few B, quite a few C, quite a few D. And that's where the problem lies, is that we want everything to sort of be A. That's in an ideal world, isn't it? And I think in a realistic world, what we should have is, we'll have a load in A and a load in B. None be really useless, but a lot of good ones and a lot of pretty good ones. That's the dream, anyway. But yeah. Cool. Right, well, I've actually got a list of all the buffs and nerfs. Now, I do want to make a concession that we're nowhere near finished yet. These are just ideas for the beginning, and there's still a lot to do behind the scenes. Obviously, the problem is though, a lot of the talk is around Beachcomber, it's around Leo Prime. That's the majority of the talk. I'd say 90% of it, with everything else coming in secondary. Now, again, this is not finalized. There's still things to be balanced, and we might bring this out, and then people say that Xbot is still overpowered or Xbot is still not viable. You might listen. It might happen where we go. Listen, you've nerfed that too much, or you buffed that too much. We're never gonna get it exact, and that's why hopefully in another 6 months or so we'd have rebalancing again, and we sort of look at them again and go, right, okay, maybe we took that too far. Maybe that bot isn't quite as good as what it should be. Maybe we didn't buff that enough, and we can sort of balance it again and make balance changes, and hopefully every 6 months we can kind of go through this. But ideally, I think the majority of change will be sort of cost changes to make things more relevant, because obviously you reduce the cost of something, it can make it more relevant. If you increase the cost, it makes it less relevant. So for argument's sake, let's say we made Blue Streak 12 ability points, no one would hardly use Blue Streak. Point made. But if we made Leo Prime 2 ability points, everyone will be using Leo Prime for more than what he is now. So you kind of get the idea that cost changes can influence how much a bot is used. Just 2 examples there. They're not getting the cost change just said. It's just an example. So starting off, character buffs. Let's do the buffs first. So Jazz and Mixmaster. The idea is to reduce them from 9+3 to 7+3. Now again, that's not finalized, but we did consider putting them lower. But I think that the problem is that it's normal damage, I think. That's the problem really. In my view, I think if you want to get 6+3, then you need to give him an elemental damage. And for me, it's all about elemental damage versus normal damage, because normal damage is always preferred because it can't be countered. So you have to be careful with it. But I think 7+3 is a fair cost. Brainstorm and Skyhawk. I think that any bot that had a speed up, it was speeding up their attack but not their movement speed. So I think that has been changed throughout all the bots, including the likes of Drifter Barricade. So they've had a slight buff as well. But they have talked about decreasing the cost of Brainstorm and Skyhawk from 6+3 to 4+3. So that'd be a good change to make them a bit more relevant. Bulk, head, and breakdown. The slowdown will be increased to 70%. I'm not too sure what it was before. I think it was less than that, but now 70%. Chromia and Fellback, ability 11, Glass Gas, was proposed to change from 25 to 60%. So that'd be quite good for her ability 11. I think she was almost nerfed when they tried fixing that. I understand the fix because it was frustrating getting caught in the stun gun. And getting stun locked, it was annoying, especially when leveling. You sort of come up against that and you're like, right, I need to back out the battle. So I kind of get that. But they needed to buffer in other ways and didn't. So I kind of like this ability 11 being 60%. And I can see Chromia and Fellback maybe being used in some outposts maybe. So it might make it a bit more relevant again. Computron and Loud Kaiser. So obviously we talked about Stone and everything else coming out of the game and bringing in Disable. But there's a new element coming in called Cryo. So his first ability will be a Cryo Rush. Which slows and does damage, normal damage. And then they are going to take away the super hack out of the hack zone, because Dale sort of said it's a bit unfair to players to have exceptions really, so we want to make it just a hack. So if you have anti-hack, it won't be hacked by Computron. But then the 5-star will be a Cryo Blizzard that slows attack speed. So that'd be interesting to see how that works. But it's very much going to be Cryo and hack. That's what Computron's going to be. It's also going to have electrical optics, because electrical damage will combo with Cryo to increase the damage. So be a good combo. Be interesting to see. Dinobot has increased the decoy count from 3 to 4. So we get an extra dinosaur. Which taunts as well, and the heal buff wasn't working supposedly, and it's also been buffed from 20 to 35% as well. So I can see Dinobot being a real pest in outposts. It's going to be a bit more viable on attack as well, where it'll survive a lot longer, so it should be better. We've talked about Drift and Barricade, the movement speed being increased as well as attack speed. Dust Up and Vortex, a slight damage increase. Grenade DPS now shown on the tooltip. I don't think it's good enough really. I think it needs a massive increase. Dust Up and Vortex. Even for the price, is ridiculous. Elite 1 and Lugnut, cost decreased to 6+3 from 8+3. Again, not finalised. Just want to keep saying that, but that's the idea. Firefly and Blast Off, the shield duration has been increased 6 seconds. Don't think that's good enough. I think it needs longer. I think it definitely needs something. One of the worst G1s in the game, in my opinion. So definitely needs something. First Aid and Reflector. The healing's been doubled at ability 11 now. And minions retarget faster. So the minions will fire around the battlefield a bit quicker to increase the healing. All medics regenerate 2% HP every 5 seconds. Flatline and Minerva did that. The ones didn't. Now every healer will have that. Mirage and Breakdown. The disabled's been increased from 8 seconds to 12 from ability 11. I think that should be more personally. Then we've got Omega Supreme. Actually tried Omega Supreme, was quite impressive. One of the early ones that got changed. But the glass ball, the range and target count increases. 15 seconds cooldown. Was very good. Everything it goes through now gives it glass gas too. The Rage Rush cooldown was decreased to 10 seconds, so it'll be usable with more. Guardian's Blessing, we talked about increasing the or reducing the amount of randomness about the electric and sort of confine a bit more. But the Guardian Blessing DPS increased from 50 to 75%. And the AoE pulse to adjacent targets. And then the outer space, the target, yeah, aim target replaces random selection. So that'll be better as well. Optimus, Maximus, and Bruticus tick damage will stack up to 4 stacks now. And rockets now stack instead of refresh. So I believe the missiles that he fired out would replace rather than stack. So that's now stacks. Optimus, Primal, and Beast Wars Megs have got a health boost scaled to 20% of max HP or 15 seconds. Power Glider Cyclonus, we're looking at shortly. I've had a rework. Red Alert and Run Amok.
Power off.
Sorry. Red Alert and Run Amok. The passive durations increase by 2 seconds for consistency. Just a passive, so not a massive change. Runner's Prize, Matrix, and Multimaster Sword reduce damage taken from autocannons, labels, and shot towers miniguns up to 13.5%. Not much of a buff really. I think they need more than that. Sandstorm and Octane G1 SA damage and heal bonuses now scale. Supply G1 now grants health. It did do healing before, didn't it? Not health. So I don't know how that is. Definitely both, but I'm not too sure how. But it definitely it scales now, I think, with the increase of the levels. Skylinks and Blitzwing, the shield's been increased from 4 seconds to 6 seconds. Bit of a buff, but nothing major. I still think it needs more. Skyburn, Onslaught, ability 11, impact range has been increased. Sunstreaker and Swindle, the range been increased from 23 to 28, so quite a considerable range increase. And the cost has been reduced from 7+2 to 6+2 as well. Snarl and Hunger now grant attack and movement speed, as we spoke about. Barricade, I still think Snarl and Hunger need a lot more. Star Saber and Deathosaurus is a big one. The cost decreased from 10+3 to 8+3. So a decrease in Star Saber and Deathosaurus. Tigerhawk and Waspinator ability slows attack and movement speed and does cryo damage now as part of the new cryo damage. Twin Twist now grants both attack and movement speed to compensate for the fix below. So I think that Twin Twist will do a bit less damage. That's under negotiation and talks still because he's doing a lot more than what he should. But for me, he wasn't too overpowered. But that's up for debate as well. Ultra Magnus and Galvatron are getting a rework as well. Retgar and Junkie revive. Now it's a revive, not a heal. I'm not too sure if that's going to fix the problem with putting the Titan down. But ability to 1 to 10 immunity in 2 seconds. Ability 11 is 4 seconds. And allies gain 40% attack and movement speed up to 6 seconds as well. So I'm not sure that's going to fix the Titan issue. But it is a revive, which means it's now not countered by anti-heal build bots. But not everyone uses that anyway. Bulkhead and Breakdown Prime cost reduced from 4+2 to 3+2. Drift and Barricade 3+2 will now become 3+3, so a cost increase for Drift and Barricade. Pipes and Headstrong no longer slow defenses, and the cost will increase from 3+1 to 3+2. Ironhide and Bludgeon toolkit's been updated with no further changes. Goldfire and Ramjet will now gain an 80% health on ability use, so not the shield part of what Pipes gets, but the increase in health. Jumpstream and Scrapper have been decreased in cost from 4+1 to 3+1. Hotspot and Tantrum now gain 80% health on charge and cost 4+, and the change has been to 3+3. So I think that it will reflect will be better when they fix that as well. I think Dale said that it's going to be fixed. And he gains 80% health now as well. And then Sludge and Straxus will have a cost decrease from 5+3 to 4+2. We're not finished yet. Bash Breaker and Gabu. The damage is 15 DPS per second for 5 seconds. Dial and Overkill have had a massive overhaul where the breath fire range will increase from 2.3 to 4.5, meaning they sit further back. And they will also now self-heal for 5% rather than 15%. So that'll keep them alive. Fire Drive and Blowpipe, including Cosmic Rust, Nightstick, Fracas, Pinpointer Singe, now boost all DPS types, including electric, cryo, and acid and fire as well. So they'll work with those bots that do elemental damage as well. Glitch and Gator Phase, the glass gas scaling adjusted for 10, 20, 30, and 40% for each star level. Night Stalker and Ravage enter stealth mode every 10 seconds for 5 seconds and deal double damage while stealthed. So that's a bit of an increase there. And Victory Leo and Tiger Chest now affects ranged special bots. Equipping Star Saber and Defosaurus grants 15% health, so you can obviously put Victory Leo and Tiger Chest on any range special bot now, but obviously you get more for Star Saber and Defosaurus. So as you can see there, there's quite a few bots there getting a buff, and I don't think anything is drastic there. Some really good ones, I like Hotspot, I like Goldfire, I think they're really good increases. I like Sunstreaker, I like Jazz, I like First Aid and General Healers. I like Dinobot. I like Chromia's increase. I like Brainstorm. So there's quite a few bots there that I'm sort of looking at and thinking I might be able to actually use these now in Wars. Maybe I'm going to give them a go. Hence why I've started leveling First Aid. Started leveling obviously Ultra Magnus and Podium as part of the rework. So yeah, some really, really good bots there that I'm looking forward to using. But now on to the nerfs. Now this list is smaller, but there is going to be some things that obviously people are a bit frustrated by. So the first one is air raid and slipstream range reduced from 30 to 25, down by 5 squares. It's just kind of the thought, I think, that you can take a lot of things out from the launch pad with him and Smokescreen, and so that's a bit too viable. And so the range has been decreased a bit. Beachcomber and Deluge. This is the massive talking point. I think there's some things that Dale has said have to happen. There's some things that are up for debate. So Dale said that he's not going to keep the same health. It's going to get reduced. Now, when Dale put the figures out for the health, I was a bit like, that's a lot of health being reduced. But when we started looking at what he actually is, and what he is with all the things added on, it actually wasn't made much of a difference, if I'm honest with you. It wasn't a huge difference. Because when we think of Beachcomber, we think of like 90k, 80k health. But when you take out the Titan perks and Jazzy and the G1 and things like that, when you look at him as he is, and that's what Dale's sort of testing without anything adding on, it wasn't actually, it's doing like, I think he had like 55k, 60k health. So it wasn't something, it wasn't stupid. And I think Dale was talking about 45k health, something around then. So you're talking like a 10k, 15k health reduction. Now, the shield's still up for debate. We're still talking about that, so I won't even talk about that. But I think the shield's going to still be intact. But I think he is going to have a health reduction, and he's going to remove the cheers. I think that's the main things that are going to come out of Beachcomber. I still think he needs to reflect. For me, it's either reducing the reflect and keeping the health, or reducing the health and keeping the reflect. That for me is how it should be. If you reduce the reflect and keep the health, it's just going to be a tank. I don't think he's got anything special. But if you keep the reflect and lose his health, he will die a bit quicker. You will be able to kill him faster and won't be just beating down on him. And that was my main problem. So the reflect is alright, so you can't use smokescreen on him because it's going to kill your bots. You got to be clever with it. But, you know, it's going to be a bit easier to kill. And I don't mind that. And like I said about the cheers are sort of random in a way. You couldn't really rely on them. So I kind of understand that as well. So yet to be balanced. Blue Streak and Wild Rider, the health removal debuff has been removed. Because the problem was at lower levels, when you removed health from a defense, it went below 0 or something. And Dale said it was a crash in the game, so you can't really use Blue Streak at lower levels. And so, yeah, they've removed the debuff. But now reduces attack and movement speed for 10, 20 or 30%. I'm not a big fan of this. I did say this, that I don't like the idea of removing attack speed. It's not how I use Blue Streak at all. And 10, 20, 30% is not enough. But the cost has changed from 5 plus 3 to 3 plus 4 to compensate this for it. So initial cost is going to be less, repeat cost is going to be more. But it was also doing a bit more damage, 500 more damage than the tooltip mentioned. 500 is not a lot really, but that's been fixed as well. Big Daddy and Groundhog's a big talking point on whether to reduce the range or not. Because what is happening is people are putting him on swoop on the launch pad, and then he's dropping him off the map, and he's killing the bots from the off the map, and not being able to target him or kill him. If you reduce his range, it means he will walk in range of the bot. So I kind of get that. That's still up for a bit of debate on how much the range will be reduced, but I think that will be reduced. Grapple and Dirtbag, the G1 will spawn a mine every 30 seconds rather than 10. Because at the minute, 10 seconds is a lot. It's OP. So that's been reduced to 30 seconds for the G1. Leo Prime, the speed buffs have been removed for ability 1 to 10, but been included to ability 11 only. And the damage has been halved. And the range has been decreased by 4, so not a massive range decrease, but slightly. And the cost will probably be 7 plus 4. So that is a lot of changes to Leo Prime, but he was the strongest bot in the game by far. Like I said, it was doing like 20k damage. So we worked out with these changes, he'll still do about 11 or 12k damage in an area. So he'll still be able to clear out areas, but rather than using his ability for doing 20k damage and clearing an area in 5 seconds, it'll take 10 seconds to clear it. So defenses will stay alive a bit longer, but he'll still be able to clear an area, especially if you combine him with any other bots, basically, because most defenses have between 14 or higher HP defenses have between 14 and 16k health. So if he's doing 12k damage, it will leave a slither of health. So literally all it will take is Ruination or another bot doing a small amount of damage just to combo and take even the high HP buildings out. So I think he'll still be able to take out beam lasers, launchers, turrets, maybe mortars, but the likes of cannons, MDS, shock towers, he won't be able to take out with a one shot. So I think that's a fair balancing of Leo Prime. 7 plus 4 cost. Is that alright? I don't know. We'll have to see in time. Lightspeed and Iron Bison. The range reduction adjusted to 95%. Now that's not a nerf to me. The problem was that when he did a 100% reduction in range, what happened was bots were just walking into things because they had no range, which made no sense. And so that's been reduced to 95% of the range. So they will still attack things, but they won't walk into things anymore. So it's more of a fix. Optimal Optimus and T2 Megatron. The range is going to be reduced from 19 to 15. It did have a crazy range. And the cost is going to be changing from 7 plus 2 to 7 plus 3. So not a massive change. But Ability 11's lost the wider explosives, and the fire will last for 13 seconds instead of 10, but doesn't mean have a decrease in damage. So the damage will roughly be about the same as Leo Prime, around 10, 11, 12k-ish, something around there. But we all said that Leo Prime was not a problem until they gave him Ability 11, increased the range of his fire, and I kind of get that. So that's where it goes to. Ruination, God Neptune, so water damage is gone. We knew that already. We knew it was coming. God Sting, I've removed the tidal wave effects. So the idea of God Sting and tidal wave comboing together, that's going to get taken out. But now it applies a 13% disable and electric damage. The tidal wave, again, no longer reduces building stats or extends disable, so doesn't mix with the God Sting. But now grants a 40% absorption shield for 5 seconds. And the radius has been reduced from 8 to 5. So it's going to be a bit of a, not as much damage, but a bit more tighter rather than a wide range. And the God Splitter effect, damage is going to be halved for the God Splitter, but there's going to be no explosions on disabled enemies. So we haven't done much with Ruination and God Neptune yet in test, but I think that'll be balanced a bit more. I think that's a bit too much personally. I think that'll get increased. A big one, which caused a big debate, is that Smokescreen and Breakneck Ability 11 will no longer apply glass gas. I think the idea is that glass gas with Air Raid and with Smokescreen was too cheap from the launch pad. But will now increase the execute percent by 5% across all star levels And so I think the execute for Smokescreen was like 40%. And so any bot that has like 40% health, Smokescreen will be able to take out. So I think that the glass gas in an area is a big change to him and Air Raid. Not so much about anything else really. But I think he'll be more utilized for finishing defenses off. And so I can see people using Leo Prime and using Smokescreen to take out key defenses, because Leo Prime will take out majority defenses, and then you can go bang, bang, bang with Smokescreen and finish them off. I think we'll find more utility in Smokescreen on taking out defenses, and less utility on taking things out from range. The big question mark was, should he be able to take out Billbot still? And I think he should. I think he will. And that's just balancing that damage around that. Then we've got Tracks and Cutthroat will go from 2+5 to 2+7. So the initial cost will be the same. The repeat cost will be more. Me personally, I would have kept the repeat cost but increased the initial cost. I think 2 ability points to give your bots protection for like 6% for like 20 seconds is stupidly OP. I think personally it should be 4+4, I think. Or 5+5. Something around them. And then Trailbreaker and Exhaust have had a cost increase from 3+2 to 4+2. Because he was really, really cheap for what he did in the area. But again, this is what has been proposed to test. It's got to be balanced. It's still way off yet. Some of the buffs may be increased. Some of the buffs may be reduced. Some of the nerfs may be reduced. Some of them increased maybe. I can't see many of the nerfs being increased. I don't think any of them are. I think some of them need winding back in again. But I think some of them are very fair. I think Ruination needs some work. And I think that Blue Streak needs some work personally. And I think Beachcomber still needs some work. I can imagine the rest of them sort of staying as they are though. And then buffs. Like I said, I can see that Dust Up and Vortex getting a bit more than that. Firefly and Blast Off. Mirage and Breakdown as well. It's getting a bit more relevant. Rodimus and Motormaster as well. Skyburst, Onslaught, Snarl and Hunger getting more as well. And I think we'll be there or thereabouts then, I think, with most things. But again, there is some bots in there that aren't getting a buff or a nerf yet. It doesn't mean that they won't. It just means that they'll come in the next update, I think. We don't want to do too many changes, because it worked out that Dale's done something like 40,000 changes or something stupid. And so I think that there'll be more to come. But again, a lot of these things are yet to be balanced. So let me know what you think in the comments. No doubt there'll be people going like, this is ridiculous. But I think that some of these things have to happen. But I think there's some viable changes in there for some bots that weren't as viable before that I'm excited to use. And I can't wait to see what they hold. Yeah, just cover a few things. I'm really warm at the minute, God. So let's have a look. One buff that needs to be done is for Sludge. Why not have him use his missile to build instead of walls? Because the idea is that you've got nose cone that targets buildings, you've got one that targets walls, so something a bit different. But he's getting a cost reduction, so that's pretty good. Volcanis just put nose cone was good for walls, but not anymore. He is. He's amazing for walls, nose cone. He's on my war team. Amazing. Volcanis 69 put, you forgot about the F tier bots. Well, I think F tier bots are, for me, Goldfire's down there. He's getting a buff. Sludge is getting a buff. Dust Up not enough. Mirage, but there's some low level, not so good bots that get buff. So yeah, I'm quite happy with some of them. Grand Times but Beachcomber has to have the reflect. Yeah, it'll still have the reflect, but the question is how much. You could have a 20% reflect, couldn't it? That still means he's got it. Don't mean it's good though. But yeah, it does have I agree though. The reflect has to stay personally. I'd rather have lower health and the 80% or whatever reflect it was than the other way around. Than 50% reflect and 80% the health still. Yeah. Julio Espejo. Hope I got that right. When will HQ19 be available? Will there be new defenses? So one by one, when will HQ19 be available? End of this year, early next year, we'll start to see it, I think. Will there be new defenses? Yes, there'll be one new defense. New defense cores? Don't know. As just the dual core defense level, since I have a lot of unused ones. Yeah, I do the same. Don't think it's possible. Chris Harmon's put, no way was her. That's trash on Predacon Inferno. I want my money resources back. That nerf is BS. I don't know what you expected. Did you expect Leo Prime to one-shot defenses still? Like, you know, MDSs? It's not going to happen. I think we need to be realistic with it. I think it will be going to be free to play in future. They're getting no more money off me. That's up to you. That's fair enough. Mario Zambiano's put, am I the only one who thinks the nerfs are actually okay? I was kind of expecting half damage of Leo and changed to, oh, they are strong and they are in denial. If you say otherwise, Mario Zambiano, I'm kind of on the same sort of idea. I agree with you. I understand that 12k is probably like the maximum damage they can probably do. I don't want to quote 12k. It might be 10.5, 11, something like that. It's not stupid, but if we look, yeah, let's have a look at some defenses here. Dread 81. The Predaking buff will come after this. I think not yet. So I worked it out that he'll be able to take out turrets still. Be able to take out mortars still, be able to take out launchers, be able to take out beam lasers. Not so I think it's around 10.5, 11k. Because I remember we couldn't do cannons. Can't do MDS. Can't do shock towers. So yeah, I think it was around 10.5k. I think that was around the sort of amount. So he'll still be able to clear these bottom sections, things like this. He'll still be able to clear all this at the bottom here. So again, I agree. I don't think that the nerf to Leo Prime is that much of a disaster. I really don't. I don't think Leo Prime is a disaster. I don't think Ultimate Optimus is a disaster. Beachcomber, if I'm deadly honest, I think he went a bit too far and all of playtest was up in arms. I think that they all agreed needs more, and I private messaged Dale saying you do need to give him more. I think Dale was like, okay, but what? And that was a conversation, and I think he got back to test with something a bit more powerful because it went a bit too far. But that's what balancing's for. So we'll have to wait and see. But we can only go up from there. Because I think Dale brought it to 11 and went, right, let's go up from there. We did that with Leo. We did that with Optimus. They were quite good changes. Beach was a bit too much. And I think that I don't like the changes to Blue Streak. But I understand the reasoning. Because you can't have a reduction in health anymore. Because of the lower levels. So, yeah. Chris Harmon's put he was fine. I never saw the results you claim. He was doing 22k damage. This is live. This is live on my account. So mine is only a captain. It's only a captain. People want to say like only a captain, but mine's only a captain. It's not a general. So he's doing 2,000 fire damage for 10 seconds. That's 20k damage. No one can sit there and say 20k damage is not OP. You can't. It is OP. It's stupid. Mario Zambiano, yes, I am showing Powerglide straight after this. I've discussed this a bit. Blade 19, 12k is basically half the damage that it does. Yeah, it is, yeah. But it was doing double the amount it should. Ultimate Optimus right now is doing 10k damage, so I don't think that's changed much in terms of damage amount. I think what's changed is the area and his range. That's what's changed more. Chris Harmon's put, he's not doing that much damage. He is. He is. And the fact is they sold him as I bought him. Well, actually, when they sold him, he was doing a lot less than that when he actually came out in the endurance event. I think it was. He was doing a lot less than that. And then they buffed him stupidly. Whoever did that is criminal. Refunds, another question, but I don't know. I kind of get some people point out refunds. I kind of get it, but I would understand it more if they really, really nerfed him. But yeah. Blade 19's put you can't sell something as it is and then decide to change it. It's just not right. I half agree with you. They can. And I think they should have balance changes. I think the problem is that when they buffed it, they made a big mistake and didn't change it quickly enough. If you want to criticise them for not reacting fast enough, I'm 100% on board with you, 100% agreed. It's ridiculous left it this long, but everything should be balanced in the game. You gotta think. But all games do balance changes. Literally every single game does a balance change. Even the likes of FIFA, even the likes of World of Warcraft, they all do balance changes, believe it or not. Every single game within reason. I think that some of the playtesters' arguments were that you invest a lot more in these bots, and that's the problem. Chris Harmon's put, it's not, you're just wrong, was it? Alright, let's just, should we prove it then? Should we prove it? Let's prove it. Okay. So, let's take any sort of like healing off my test account. Megatronus. Let's have a look. So we've got, let's have a look. Let's test your theory. Let's put Leo. Where's Leo? Oh no, that's thing in it. Yeah, it's on test. So, tell you what, let's do it on live a minute. Let's do it on live. So I'm willing to do this. Let's do that a minute. Let's do this. I need to change back though. Right, so we've got Leo Prime. This is him, like I said, on my actual account. It's 2,000 fire damage for 10 seconds. That's 20k damage. Not including the allies gain a 30% increase in attack and movement speed for 10 seconds, and enemies 30% reduction in both attack and movement speed as well. We've got 15% increase in damage as well. Hard mode. So we have got 11.5k damage and 13.5k damage as well. And that ridiculous range. And there we go. So here, we've got Fire Billbots blocking half of the damage what Leo Prime does. So this is him doing half the damage that he should. These are anti-fire Billbots. That is an anti-fire Billbot stopping him doing damage against defenses around him and still killing defenses. Anti-fire Billbot on the MDS. Because of the healing. He's getting healed in it. That's his two anti-fire Billbots. That's why. Are you attacking and not taking out anti-fire Billbots? If that's the case, that's why. I need to remember where these all go now. It's important. There we go. So yeah. He is doing 20k damage, honestly. Blade 19, can you explain the new element to me? The new element is going to be like a slow, in a way, slow down, cryo. So it's going to be mixed with electric. So electric and cryo is going to do 20% extra damage. Yeah. Yeah. Leo Prime is ridiculous good. Ridiculous. Blade 19's put every content creator and anyone that knew about the game, all told people to go for him. He's the best in the game, so they knew for years what he was doing and done nothing about it. Listen, I can't agree with that. But you understand that there are going to be bots in the game that are not working as they should. And people are going to say, go for that bot. And then it's up to you to go for it or not. But I've had a lot of use after Leo Prime. It's got me Spark, it's got me Warpoint, it's got me points in events. It's got resources. So I don't mind. I understand. I'm sort of understanding that these things are going to happen to these bots. They are going to be brought back in line. Now, is Leo Prime going to be one of the best bots in the game still? Yes. Is Ultimate Optimus going to be one of the best bots in the game still? Yes. They still are. Is Blue Streak? I don't know. That's debatable. That's why I'm a bit more worried about Blue Streak. Is Beachcomber going to be the best bot on defense still? That's up for debate still. I hope so. That for me is I still want these bots to be viable. Leo Prime is still going to be one of the best bots in the game. Still is Optimal Optimus. If you want your spark refunded out of Optimal Optimus and Leo Prime, trust me, you are making a mistake. If you want that bot back to level 1 again, you are making a big mistake. Because he's still going to be good. If I'm honest with you, he will take out 80% of stuff he already does, but over 10 seconds rather than 5. That's not a big change. Honestly, people are really overthinking it. Honestly, guys. I'm quite excited for the change because I don't think Leo Prime's been affected that much. Don't be worried about Leo Prime. Don't be worried about the Ultimate Optimus. Be worried about Beachcomber, Ultimate Optimus, Ruination. Those things are still up for debate. Those things have not been balanced yet. Those things are still in the works. We're not too sure about them. I think Leo Prime and Ultimate Optimus are kind of done. And I think they're in a good place. I really do. And I think they've been a good job's been done on them. I really do think that, honestly. Frost Burning, why has Legacy Power Glide event disappeared from the calendar? Well, first, thanks for the member, much appreciated. The reason is that he's not ready yet. He's only just gone into test. There's a few bugs, things like that, and so it'll get pushed back. But just remember that these Legacy events, I'm a bit disappointed they put it in there anyway. It shouldn't have gone in there. Don't know why they did. But these Legacy events, they're sort of ready when they're ready. So I think Power Glide should be ready by the next saga, I think. If not, definitely one after that. So I reckon another month or 2. That's what I reckon for Power Glide. But we're going to take a look at him anyway now. So if there's any more questions, stick it in the chat. But let's have a look at Power Glide. So again, apologies if anything crashes. But we'll have to persevere and give it a go. I might have to go into some lower zones to try and mount. But here is Power Glide. So this is the first sort of real look at his ability. So evolve your ability permanently with each use. So that's the key. Permanently. So first hit for 3 ability points. Drop a bomb that deals 5,800 normal damage to the target. I think the idea of that is that he will be able to take out Billbots, do a bit of damage to some defenses, maybe finish him off. But nothing too ridiculous. It's only 3 ability points. Then, when you use ability a second time, it's for 4 ability points, the cost goes up. But the bomb also hits adjacent targets. So you'll do 5,800 damage to a bit of an area. So, not bad. But this is where it starts to ramp up a bit. So then, for 5 ability points, you'll disable the target. But what you'll also do is, you'll disable the target, and you'll do 5,800 damage in an area for 5 ability points. So the cost goes up. Now, for 6 ability points, I don't think we'll do triple damage. I think it'll be double. I think triple is a lot. 15k in an area. Again, we talked about things being OP. But I think it'll be about 10k damage and 11k damage in an area. So 11k damage in an area. And it will disable in an area for 6 ability points. And then every time you use it for 6 ability points, I think it goes up to 7 after that. It goes up to 7, then 8, then 9. But you get stuck at 6 ability points for, like I said, around 11.5k damage and disable in an area. So don't forget you can disable is the same as stun. I don't think you'll be able to disable MDS. I'm not too sure. That's up for debate still. But it's an evolving ability for 3+1. So let's have a look. Fingers crossed doesn't break. So here we got Power Glide. You can see here for 3 ability points, he's going to do damage to 1 target. There you go, doing 5,800 damage, nothing crazy. Similar target the other side. 4 ability points, now he's doing that damage in an area, you can see there. He's done 5,800 to all of them. But now he's going to disable as well. So now we're going to hit these cannons here. We do 5,800 damage, but look, it's disabled the targets. And like I said, it is saying triple damage now. This is where it normally breaks, but we'll see. I think it should be doing double, but it's doing triple. And then if we do this damage over here, you see now it's done a crazy amount of damage. Ignore the lasers. That's one of the maybe war effects that Dale's sort of looking at when you just try to target. The laser's going to be there, but it's not set in stone yet. But you can see there, it does a crazy amount of damage. Too much. Triple damage is too much. But around double damage. So, interesting. I'm really excited for it. I'm really looking forward to this bot. We'll give it another whirl again. Again, I think the triple damage is a bit too much. I think also with the change, I think his range needs increasing because he's being used for build bots, but if you look, his range has been reduced a lot. I'm not a big fan of that. I would like the range increased a lot, and then the damage decreased to double. But we'll do the same again, just so you can see. I like his disable part in an area as well. I like that. But this bit is incredibly OP. I think this needs reducing. Look at that. It's almost killing MDS. Oh, he's dead. But no, I'm excited for Powerglide. I'm excited for Powerglide. I think some good change been made to him. I think he's got some good utility. Be good in wars. Personally, I'll be going for him. And I hope he's got some good utility in the game and can be relevant again. What do you guys think? Let me know. Are you excited for him? Think good in wars? Can you find some good use for him? Minus that triple damage. I think that's a bit too much. But let me know what you think. Oh, Dale's in the chat just saying it's 3 times damage on ability 11. Yeah, it's too much. It is too much. But the range doesn't increase it. Like, his original range, like, if you look at his actual range compared. I've got Powerglide as a 4-star, I think. But obviously not a 5-star, obviously. Where's Powerglide? Where's Powerglide? Down low somewhere, I know that much. It's just, I don't use this enough, you know. I don't use it enough. Where's Powerglide? There he is. Prime time, triple damage is fine, Dale. Ignore water. Yeah, just take out the shield and cluster over the, yeah, 7 ability points. Yeah, why not? Yeah, look. It's a big range decrease for Powerglide. I think he needs to keep his original range, personally. Play 19s, but give it other triple for 2 years. You can always change it later. Touche. That's comment of the week. Comment of the week. That's good. Oh, that's good. I'll give you that one. Yeah. Grind time, put laughing emojis. Yeah, that's good. Wait, is that his old ability? Yeah, that's his old ability range. Yeah, that's the range. So we compare that and give it a go. So if we compare, that's his range there. That's his range there. It's definitely been decreased. Oops. Yeah, I think it needs increased to the original one. Personally. Yeah, Mariano right, you know. They brought him out, it was awful. Then they buffed him. Yeah, too much. Yeah. But Dustin Brilliant's got a good point that they've waited this long to fix him. They have. Frost Brilliant has put 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 18 ability points. Very expensive. Yeah, but I think for 18 ability points, you're getting some crazy amount of use out of him. What else? Any questions? Anything? Frost Burners, but was a show off Magnus's new Ultra ability? I'm not too sure I can do yet. Or can I? I'm sure Dale can put it in the chat, but can not. Why nerf this content when they're going to bring HQ19 out? Because HQ19 is about a year away. Or 9 months away. And so they need to balance it now rather than waiting. Although the ability, can you show some of the new tool tips? I don't want to show it any screenshots because I know what people like for screenshots. If I say on the stream, this is what's happening, people can sort of like take note of it, but no one's going to screenshot it and start saving around, and it causes ruptions because that's not generally going to happen. Things get balanced still, so I don't want to do any screenshots with these sort of cost changes really. Because yeah, like Dale's just put there, these things might change, so I don't want to do any screenshots of any tooltips, anything like that really. I don't want to show as many as I can, at least the amount I can I want to show. That's the idea. Okay, cool. Let's have a look at Ultra Magnus then. Have a level in. That's on my account, so ignore that. Sure, I've got one test. Will Omega's stream actually be useful as a 5-star? I was quite impressed with him actually. I can probably show him again actually. Because I think, yeah, because we showed Ultra Magnus last week, didn't we? So yeah, we can show that, yeah. Let's have a look at Ultra Magnus. Oh god, let's have a look at it. I can't do this. I'm gonna special bots. Where is it? Had him, where's he gone? Oh no, maybe I haven't. I can use a 4-star. Give you an idea what it does anyway. Where is it? Ultra Magnus. There's a 4-star. I love 57. Let's upgrade him a minute. Let's upgrade him. Bear with me, guys. As you can see, I've done this far too many times. Far too many times to mention. Just using 30 mil XP is like nothing. Or 80 mil XP even. Grind sense, but you can't see, but I'm dancing to entertain you. Yeah, I miss those grind time days of entertaining us with dancing. Right, okay. And let's upgrade his ability now as well. Then we'll look at his tooltip while we're there. Hopefully got enough spark to do it. I need some more spark, 250k. Give me a second. Cool, there we go. Cool. So this is Ultra Magnus as a maxed out 4-star for the time being, guys. So it says blast a distant target dealing 8,330 normal damage and 1,000 damage per second to target. It passes through for 5 seconds. When the main target is hit, it explodes, dealing 1,500 normal damage in a small area. If the main target is destroyed within 10 seconds, it explodes again, dealing 3.5 normal targets or adjacent targets. I think it's very confusing to start off, and you do 8,000 damage and then 1,000 damage per second it passes through. When the main target is hit, it explodes, dealing 1.5 damage in a small area. If the main target is destroyed within 10 seconds, it explodes again, dealing 3k damage normal to an area. So it's about doing damage and then destroying an area. That's the key in it. So let's go normal mode and try Magnus out. I don't want to. Here's a 4-star. So let's give it a go. I hope his G1 will give him more damage, but 8,330. Yep, so got a resource building there. See what he does if he kills that resource building. I know it's resource building. I'm not just sort of thinking, I want to see what he does, because I haven't done much testing myself. So it doesn't transform anymore. Well, he's not doing what he should. That's for a start. Should do 30% more than that. Woo! Well, that's doing more than it should, but I like it. I like the timer. The timer is good. So yeah, I think it's doing more than it should, but I think it should do that and more. Grindstone. The reason the transform is because, sadly, well, that's Peach Comet, so we're going to die there, aren't we? The problem is that they couldn't change the rockets to a laser. It looks stupid. And so now if they want to do that, he's not going to transform anymore. It's going to come from his gun. It just didn't suit it. So yeah, they had to change that, I'm afraid. But yeah, not bad. Good change to Ultra Magnus. Some more to come. Let me know what you guys think. Let's have a look at Omega Supreme. So we can activate Omega Supreme there. We'll have a look at him in the lab as well. So Omega Supreme in the lab. If I can find the lab, which is hiding over there. So Omega Supreme, so you can see here. Glass gas, dealing 3.5k no damage to a target exploding on impact. All enemies hit, including those in its path and around the explosion, are affected by glass gas. Then you've got the rush in, doing 1k damage. 4.5k normal damage to the final target and 2.5 normal damage to nearby enemies, dealing double damage to walls. Then you've got gain 50% attack and movement speed and 50% reflection shield. 15 seconds, then deals 75% DPS to a single target, pulsing to nearby enemies. Upon death, Omega Supreme transfers these effects to your box and defense for 10 seconds. And then also got the Generator Storm, disables nearby enemies for 10 seconds. Then strike a small area, dealing 6k electrical damage to all targets and disable them for 10 seconds. Upon death, Bolt strike 3 times, each dealing 6k electrical damage per defenses. Let's give them a go. So let's go Omega Supreme. Let's see how he does. So I'm still yet to work out his best sort of way of working. But I imagine glass gas in an area. Let's try and hit that MDS. There we go. Glass gas in a massive area, as you can see there. Hits everything. Then we do reflect. Oh, no. Don't do this to me. I might have to go and battle someone else's base. I've actually done well for it not to crash before this, actually, to be fair. But no. I know we did so well. These are the kind of bugs that we've been getting today, though. Yes, yes. Hang on, have we got Mega Supreme still active? Yeah. Let's go in primes. I want to try them out. Let's get a good base though. I want a high level base. Come on. One primer's quite high level, I think. HU19, 82, but we'll give them a go anyway. We'll give them a go anyway. Do electrical damage first. We've got to tighten them as well, doing more damage to fair, but then we'll do reflect. Then we'll put that glass gas on a. I guess it's passive out of the way. On MDS. Let's probably use glass gas first if rushing through. Ooh, that's nice. I like that. I like that. Killing MDS like that. Woo! I do like that. I like that. I like that ability. I like that a lot. Don't mind it. Don't mind it. It was a low level base, so we want to try and find a higher one. Prime zone. Come on. Give me Yoda. Imagine I get Yoda now. One Primus. Another low level. Well, a low level HU17, but let's I don't know what I'm doing. Let's go. Let's rush up there. Let's do glass gas in an area. Let's do reflect. It's doing a decent amount of damage there. Don't mind it, you know. Done a good chunk of damage there. Electrical bolt going down there, look. The electrical bolt should be a bit more close to where he is, but took out half a HQ 17 there. We'll try and find a high level base though before we sign off. No. Let's keep going to try and get HQ 18. Hey. Last go though, last go. I don't want to try and push into freezer stream, which happens in about 15 minutes, I think, so I want to try and get done for then. Oh. No, we're not getting any high level base that way. Oh yeah, I can do yo, yeah. Actually, yeah. Oh. Let's do Shani. Shani's in the chat. Let's visit Shani. Okay, here we go. So for me, if I could take this half this front section out, that's still a good chunk. But it's got a combiner active. So let's go. Should be interesting. Let's see if we can get rid of half this front area. Let's do some damage first, try and weaken everything. Then do some glass gas in an area. Now I want to rush in, kill the MDS, then I want to reflect quickly. Yeah, he needs more health. Yeah, he's done nothing there. Let's try and do it from range. Let's see what it does from range. Oh, more reflect. Not my base, no. So have a go again. So Dale's put, I think you did it bad. Fair enough. I would have done glass gas and range attack. I thought that, but then you're not getting the reflect unless he gets close to defenses. So you're not getting that reflect back. But the reflect is not enough. If it's reflecting 50%, you'd expect to do a lot more damage than that. I think you shouldn't charge with Omega. Well, that's mad. Just saying you shouldn't charge with someone. Oh, yeah, Vector. That's why, to be fair, though. So he did reflect now, but look, there's nothing hitting him because he's not doing much damage because it's only mortars hitting him. That's crashed. We'll leave it at that. What the hell? Very bizarre. Okay, cool. But yeah, I think Omega Supreme needs some work. I think a bit more, bit of buff, I think. Maybe that reflect, maybe a bit more of a shield or something. But I think it's a promise. I like the rushing, the smash. That's really good. I like the glass gas. I like the 5-star. I think out of all the abilities, I think the 4-star ability needs some work. I think to increase survivability. Should be able to rush in and use that 4-star ability to do damage, reflect back, and clear an area around him. Okay. Yep. So a bit of work on Omega Supreme to be done. I like some abilities. I think there's still a bit more to make him one of the better combiners in the game. But what do you guys think? Are you impressed with Omega Supreme? Think he needs more? Let me know. What is going on? Freeze, if you're watching this, I'm going into your stream. Apologies. As you can see, I'm having a nightmare. Okay. Firepower, I think is game breaking. Grant says, but I like the progress so far with Omega though. Hopefully, he becomes a viable option in wars. Agree. He has made some. What's going on? Oh, Freeze's not streaming tonight. Alright, okay. Right time. I think you're done tonight, was I? I just want to show the new bot now. That's all I want to do. Right, let's see what we can do. I need 750k spark. Oh dear. What? So this is Overload, the new bot that is coming at the end of this saga. So let's take a look. So currently ability 9 with ability 11, adding a bit extra in terms of what? No difference, just increase. I need to get ability 10. Oh. I need some more spark. Dale, could we please fix this shop? Make this 1 million spark, please. So infuriating. Dustin, the last one that was a max base. That was Shani's base. That's definitely a max base. Andrew Stevenson put, what will the anniversary event look like? I don't know right now. Dale, probably the person to ask. If anyone can hear the weird noise in the background, it's because I'm minding my mum's cat. So we'll call him Autocat because you've got Deceptidog for freeze. So I'm going to call him Autocat. So yeah, Autocat is running ragged around the house. Yeah, Grandson just put, Dale, I appreciate being here for the stream. You see what I mean? He doesn't need to be here, you know, but he is. New bot. Okay, cool. Okay, so here's the new bot Overload. So at ability 10, he transforms into a mobile missile launcher and casts a dome. So quite similar to Trailbreak in that sense. That grants allies 50% damage shield for 15 seconds. Fire 10 salvo missiles at targets, dealing 190 ability damage with a 2-second cooldown in between. So you gotta think that's about 20. That's about 10 times. That's about 2k damage he's doing as a range special in terms of his missiles, and giving a 50% damage shield. So for 3+4. Then for ability 11, it increases, it changes to hack immunity as well as a shield. So let's just give him that as well. There we go. So in terms of power cores, we don't have his G1 as of yet. In terms of combat, it's range special, so it can obviously put on Nightstick, Top Shot, Peacemaker, combats as such, and then obviously weapons like Cosmic Rust Blaster. Then you can also put on any other combat you want as well. So let's put a bit of Nightstick on him. Can't beat a bit of Nightstick. Let's take him battle and let's give him a go. So now you see how well we did, because this is what I've had to do all day. This is why I've not really tested some of these things already, because this is what I've been dealing with. It's been really difficult. And to be fair to Dale, is I tried helping me loads. But even Dale's like, I don't know what's going on. And even I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Just take him to the prime zone. Probably get HU 17, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to drop Overload at the back. We'll take him with a couple of bots as well, just to show. So we'll get him in range of that cannon when he does. So there we go. So now you can see that the shield comes on. Protecting in quite a wide area. He's doing damage. There we go. So it's 3 plus 4. So now it's 7 ability points, which is quite expensive. Go up to 7. Extra damage. Bots have walked out the shield now, though. So we need to catch up. Got quite a fast walk, so let's just do this damage here. So if that was obviously with the new changes, if that was Computron or Lycaizer, this would protect them from the hack. So it's a good shield. There we go. Took Sentius down. And then died. So, first thoughts on Overload. I like the idea behind it of doing damage. I like the idea of the shield. I think that the initial idea is very good. Now, my problem is that I said the same thing about Gears. I said the same thing about the recent combat. And I'll say the same thing again, is that the concept is very good, but I think the numbers need more. I said that about Gears, about it needing more range. It didn't get it. I said that about the latest combat. It didn't get it. So, for me, I would rather have the shield. I would rather have him move forwards. And he's doing damage from range and staying back. But then what you find is that your bots walk out of that shield like we saw on the test then. That's going to happen. Yes, okay, you're not going to spam his ability, so maybe it's a case of placement. But I would rather him sort of move forwards with the team or move forwards in an area or something. I don't know. It's going to be a bit of a hard one, really. But maybe the shield slightly extending, just slightly. I don't know. I don't mind the shield too much. My main thing, though, is the damage. Doing 2,000 damage in an area is not a lot of damage. Now, this is a warrior. I'd be like, yeah, okay, it's a warrior. It's a lot of health. It shouldn't really be doing that much damage. But it's a range special with 1,000 DPS and 20k health. So the question is that it's doing great protection, but it just needs more damage. That's what it needs. I think if you give that... I think if you change that to 3 plus 3 and make it 400 damage for 10 seconds. Don't forget, it is over 10 seconds. It does last quite a while. You make that 400 damage per second for 10 seconds for 3 plus 3. I'm quite sold on that. And I'd even give it a core that increased that damage to 5k damage. Because I think that 3 plus 3 for 3 plus 6 plus 9 for 18 ability points, getting 15k damage is not ridiculous. I think that's actually still quite underpowered. So I think 3 plus 3, if they're not going to give it 3 plus 3 cost, I think you need to increase it to 2 plus 3 for the 2k damage. Because the shield is great, and we can argue saying like 50% damage block and hack immunity for 2 ability points, but then we just spoke about Trax having a block on 6% of a shield for 2 ability points, being super too low. And I think that, but we're going to keep Trax at that, then we should keep this guy cheap as well. So I like his utility in terms of protecting. It's very similar to Trailbreaker in that sense. I like that. But the damage is a bit underwhelming. But are we just going to see more of bots that are like old bots with a bit more? So is this Trailbreaker 2.0? Was Gears just Cliffjumper 2.0? Are we going to keep seeing that? We saw Peacemaker that was Flak 2.0. Flak with a bit of a hack. Gears was similar to Cliffjumper with a bit extra damage. Overload is similar to Trailbreaker with a bit extra damage. Is also what we're seeing now. Recycled old content with a bit extra. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm keen on it. I'd like some innovative ideas. Although I do quite like this bot. I think it's got some utility, but nothing really innovative. Good idea. Don't know. I'm not sold on it. I'm not 100% behind it. I'm not 100% against it. I don't mind it. Enough for me to go for it as an endurance? I don't know. Maybe with some tweaks. But what do you guys think? What's your first impressions? Are you geared up for going for this endurance bot? Does it seem decent? Does it seem worth the time? Or is it just, like we said, is it just Trailbreaker 2.0 and we'll just wait for Trailbreaker to come out as a 5-star instead? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And yeah, let me know if you're going to go for it during the endurance event. Is that what people are saying? Instead of talking about the new event, hopefully it's going to be a community-wide event, the anniversary. Hopefully, and hopefully we can do it in 2 battles. Yeah, a lot of talk about an anniversary event. Canis Macarite has put cut-throat tracks ability can be placed to count in for your bots moving ahead. But it's the new bot you can't. Yeah, that's a key point. Is you can place tracks wherever you want. That's why it's so cheap. You know, whereas this, you know, you can't. It's just around you. So I don't know. Whereas Zambiano's put, I'm saving for Power Glide. Yeah, me too probably. Endurance 2. Hit and miss. Yeah, maybe it is a bit hit and miss, yeah. Blade 19's put, you may just as well wait for the 5-star Trailbreaker. Yeah, I'm kind of under that as well. Yeah, and then get a combiner part out of it as well. Very similar to Trailbreaker. Justin Brilliant's put, I'm not sold this endurance bot. Yeah, me too. I'm not sat here going, this is terrible. So I'm glad about that. I'm not sat here saying it's horrible. People will have utility out of it. But again, I'd rather wait for Trailbreaker in a legacy event or in a batch something and then complete another combiner and get the same sort of utility on the reduction and the damage shield. The hack community is good. I quite like that for Laukaiser. If I was a new player getting this, I'd be quite excited thinking that's pretty decent. That's where I sort of stand. As an experienced player that's got most of the bots, I'm not that excited about it. And it needs to be somewhere in the middle because I find that most of the experienced players are the ones that go for these bots, even at least half of them. And so we're only sort of hitting maybe half of the, you know, people that would go for this normally. So I'm not super excited. I'm not super disappointed. I'm somewhere in the middle. Justin Brilliant's put Blade 19. Yes, Trailbreaker are 5-star tracks. I think we'll get both soon. If once, yeah. Yeah. Both will be available soon. Right. That is it for this week's stream, guys. We've covered, obviously, loads of content today. The stream's gone on even longer than normal, mainly part due to the crashes, leveling up some bots. But it's been a really good stream. We'll have more next week with my, I think we'll have some changes to Trailbreaker, to Overload. See, is that similar? I think we'll have some changes to Overload by next week. Hopefully some changes to Omega Supreme Ultra Magnus, and there's loads of changes happening behind the scenes, so it's hard to sort of say what will come. But no doubt there'll be some changes to Overload by next week, I feel. And hopefully some changes to the buffs and nerfs. That's in playtest now. They'll decide the rest of them, with a lot of focus, like I said, being on Beachcomber. A lot of focus being on Blue Streak, I feel, with a few ones as well. But thanks for watching, guys. See you next week, and peace out.